Everybody, Jeff Williams with Bow Hunter 1. Tonight I got my good friend Frank Winery with me. He's running the camera. We've come into a property here in northeast Oklahoma where we've been putting some Nutri-Deer out, some power corn and some party mix deer attractant. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to thin down the doe herd in here. This is close to a big residential area on the lake, and we've been trying to get does harvested in here, and we're just about to the end of bow season here in Oklahoma, and we're really excited to be trying the new 100 grain FIXpandables out. This is a 100 grain broadhead that's got a real heavy 3/4 inch wide nose blade, and then it opens up to a full 2 inches as it passes through the animal. As you can see, these blades can't come back any farther. Once they are deployed, they push right through the animal at the full 2 inch cut plus the 3/4 inch nose blade. So we're going to see if we can maybe get us a doe down on the turf tonight and see how the 100 grain FIXpandable broadhead works. Come on, let's go hunting. Okay, what we have is a little diagram of the property. The small blue circles where we parked the vehicle, and then we walked down to the stand in the pinch point at the back of the field where the bigger blue circle is. The deer came from the north where the yellow line is, and it expired over where the red circle was. We had a north wind, so the deer didn't have a chance to smell us when they came into the Nutri-Deer attractants, and it was a great setup. Everything worked out really well. Okay, what we got right here, we've got about 3 sites baited up on this property. We're trying to get some of these does killed in here because we're just overrun, completely overrun. The buck to doe ratio is way out of check here. So what we have is some party mix deer attractant and some power corn put in this side over here in this trough. And we've been putting a little bit out on the ground too, so this is where we're hoping to get a nice clean 20-yard shot right in this area right in here. Okay, we sat there about an hour and a half and this mature doe came in. You can tell she's mature by her brisket, the way it sticks out of the front of her legs. She's got a really thick body. She almost looks like she has some shorter legs. I'm going to say this doe is probably pushing 4 years old, maybe a 3-year-old, but a perfect candidate to harvest on the management plan. What we do with a lot of these antlerless deer, and what I encourage you to do with your antlerless deer, is donate these deer, even if it costs you a few bucks, to the folks that aren't quite as fortunate as we are. We donated her to the Hunters for the Hungry program. Okay, she's about ready to come into the attractants right now, and where we're hoping to get a good shot on her. But don't think for a minute that most of these deer won't circle these bait sites checking for danger. Make sure when you're trying to hunt a bait site that you always set on a crosswind and you set back far enough that the deer don't circle you and try to locate you setting over the feed. Now at this point, the deer's probably run about 20 yards over there, and we knew we didn't make the greatest shot, but you're going to see real quickly this deer starts to run, kind of struggles to run off right there. And we thought that she went down just ahead of us. She had the 2 yearlings with her, so we weren't for sure if where she exactly went down, but we knew those yearlings didn't want to leave, so we were relatively sure that she was down right there. And at this point in time, we're pretty happy, but we're going to blood trail the animal anyway. But this arrow is completely covered with blood. You can see It smells like I got some fat on the arrow. It did deploy. I don't see the O-ring anywhere, so I'm saying the O-ring broke. Got some hair in here. There's definitely some fat on that, so that's a little bit disappointing, but there is also a lot of blood here, so that's a good sign. You know, every one of these blood trails is different, and if you just take your time, a lot of times you can go ahead and work them out if you give the deer a little bit of time. So we're gonna walk back over to the truck and get a light, and we're gonna come back over and see if we can find her. Well, this is by no means the best blood trail we've ever seen with the FIXpandable, but it's definitely good enough that a guy can follow it. It's getting pretty dark now. We've had some blood trails with these, testing these broadheads out that a blind man could follow, but I didn't make a very good shot on this deer, just like this happens to some of us, and tonight it happened to me. So anyway, we're just cruising along here, and I hope you can see the blood as I come to it. I think you'll be able to. Right there, we got some blood on the tree, and all right, I'm gonna try to get around this right here. Looks like we got an area here where just kind of splattering around and went out of probably the entrance and the exit hole. Is that her up there, Frank? Thought I saw. Yep.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, this is the general vicinity where we knew she was last standing with the yearlings. We got right in there and found this blood trail. It's not the greatest blood trail, but it did suffice for us, and we were real happy to find the deer pretty much where we thought she went down. Piece that blood trail together, so I'm glad we have a deer that we can put a tag on tonight. As you can see, sure didn't do a very good job on this deer. That is the hole, the exit hole right there, which is, I mean, it's just a whale of a gash. I'm saying if we didn't have such a gash right there, this deer would have been a whole lot harder to find. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah. It's a big hole.
Yeah. Well, there it is. You can see this is the entrance, and I think what happened was she took a step on me right when I got ready to shoot. So as you can see, that far back makes a big difference. If I'd have been right here, I'd have had lungs, but you know, I'm about 3 or 4 inches away. Anyway, it's pretty good size entrance hole. It's kind of hard to see. It's not near as big as the exit hole, but the old FIXpandable did its job, so it went in at an angle like this, and we saw the exit hole. Okay, well here's the FIXpandable that did the job, and like I said, I'm not real proud of my shot tonight, but I'm really glad I had a cut that going that way and 2 inches going that way, because you know, another 3 or 4 inches forward, this deer wouldn't have made it 30 or 40 yards, but we had enough blood to find this deer tonight. It was a gut shot a little bit too far back, and so Anyway, it happens to all of us. Not real proud of my shot tonight, but we do have a deer to put a tag on, a nice big mature doe, and we're really trying to take some does out of this place. This little 100-acre place we got right here is right in the middle of a couple big, huge residential lake property areas, and man, some of those houses, you can drive through those communities and see 30, 40 does at a time, and I just don't think we got a very good buck to doe ratio here. We've been monitoring this property for 2 years now, and it's just overrun with antlerless deer. So we're doing our job here at the end of season to keep that doe population down, and hopefully by keeping the doe population down, we start to alleviate a lot of stress on the native browse. And once we start to get better native browse and a little bit of supplemental feed and protein here on this property, I think we're going to start to unlock some of these bucks' genetic potential. But right now these bucks don't have a chance. There's just so many deer in this area right here that the best native browse gets annihilated right off the bat, and these bucks just don't have enough nutrition to unlock their full genetic potential. So we're going to put a little bit of NutriDeer Pro Antler in here this year. We're going to run some Antler Builder Deer Mineral, and we're going to be ready for next year shooting these FIXpandable Broadheads. Now, keep in mind, everybody, that this is the prototype. This is black. All our prototypes were black on the 100 grainers, and these will be in red, a finish we call a dead red finish. They're absolutely beautiful, and but just keep in mind it's the exact same head, but the prototypes were black. The finished products will be red. I'm Jeff Williams with Bowhunter 1. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch our videos.